Just mention it. I have to recuse myself from the Metro matter.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you do
Potential
now?
conflict.
All right. Are we ready? All right. This is the regular meeting of the Planning Commission, City of Redondo Beach, February 16th, 2023. We will start with a call to order. If we could have a roll call.
Commissioner Lamb?
Here.
Commissioner Hensley?
Here.
Commissioner Hazelton? Here. Commissioner Godek?
Here.
Commissioner Boswell?
Here.
Commissioner Barron?
Here.
Chair Gaddis?
Present.
Thank you.
All right, and now the salute to the flag. Commissioner Godek.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the order of the agenda. Does anybody have any changes? The order of agenda? All right, approval of the order agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the order of the agenda.
Do I have a second?
The second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say no. Motion carries unanimously. Blue folder items. Blue folder items are additional backup materials to administrative reports and/or public comments received after the printing and distribution of the agenda packet, and these are for receive and file. So
We had three blue folder items that came to you. The first was for F2. It was a correction to the minutes. Another one was for H1 for non-agenda items. And then the third was for L1, the Metro C line extension item. So it would just be a motion to receive and file.
all right, do I have a motion to receive and file blue folder items?
Motion to receive and file the blue folder items.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say no. Motion carries unanimously. The consent calendar. These are business items except those formally noticed for public hearing or those pulled for discussion, and they're assigned to the consent calendar. The commission members may request that any consent calendar items be removed, discussed, and acted upon separately. Items removed from the consent calendar will be taken up under excluded consent calendar section. Those remaining items on the consent calendar will be approved in one motion. I will call upon anyone wishing to address the commission on any consent calendar item on the agenda, which has not been pulled by the commission for discussion. And each speaker will be permitted to speak only once, and comments will be limited to a total of 3 minutes. Let's see, what do we have? The affidavit of posting, the minutes, and referrals to staff. Do we have anyone who wants to pull any of the consent calendar items? You're the only one who ever pulls them. So, do I have we haven't had anything pulled. Do we have any comments on any of the consent calendar items?
There are no e-comments at this time.
All right. Do I have a motion to receive and file or to approve the consent calendar item?
And just to be clear, for the minutes, it would be with that correction.
Right. Right. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar items?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar, including the blue folder items for the January 19th, 2023 revised minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say no. Motion carries unanimously. Our next section is the public participation on non-agenda items. This section's intended to provide members of the public with the opportunity to comment on any subject that does not appear on this agenda for action The section's limited to 30 minutes. Each speaker will be afforded 3 minutes to address the commission. Each speaker will be permitted to speak only once. Written requests, if any, will be considered first under this section. Do we have,
We have one
okay.
at this time.
And do we have any written, electronic?
No e-comments.
We don't, okay. So Nikki, yes, please step forward and introduce yourself.
Good evening, Commissioner. I'm Nikki Mitchell from 3.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, your microphone was off. Could you introduce yourself one more time?
Nikki
sorry about that.
Negretti Mitchell, District 3. I'm representing 486 households in Redondo Beach that share property lines with the right-of-way.
Ooh, that's an agenda item.
But it's not, this isn't about the DEIR, though.
Oh, okay.
All right. This includes townhomes, condos, single-family homes, and apartments with retirees and those of us building a retirement nest egg and young families with children who just want to send their kids to our good, safe school district. And that's what we did as a family. And I'm here, I wanted to use this time to talk about some debunked talking points that, we don't want to influence any decisions or approvals. Okay, so I'm going to go bullet points. Talking point number 1, Metro owns the right-of-way, so it's always been a given that they will build on it whatever they want. Wrong. Yes, they bought it along with multitude other properties that once it's decided it won't be used by them, they sell as excess property acquisitions. Georgia Sheridan, the Metro Planning Director, confirmed this in a Torrance City Council meeting and said that fact should not and will not factor into which alignment is chosen. Number 2, we bought our house knowingly, blah, 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 blah. Wrong. We were told, and so were lots of others who bought in the last 15 or so years, that the one last round-trip freight train would be rerouted and we'd end up with an empty corridor. And we could petition potentially for a greenbelt parkland property. Next, the new transit center is already built and it's for trains. Wrong. The transit center was conceived 19 years ago with buses only in mind. Metro did not know of any green line back then. Next, the right-of-way alignment is already paid for through Measure M. Wrong. We have inflation dollars plus mitigations would bring the cost up to being similar or even more than Hawthorne Boulevard. Next, Hawthorne Boulevard has too many residents that would be impacted. Wrong. There are exactly 8 houses along Hawthorne Boulevard that have a little Hawthorne divider so that they are much further away from that alignment than the 486 households are. Right now, the freight train is 30 feet from my back wall. They want to move the train closer, the freight track, so it would be closer to my house. I'm going to need more time.
Motion to extend.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Thank you.
Your time is extended.
Thank you. Yeah, so there's 486 households that are much closer than any house on Hawthorne Boulevard, any of the 8. Transients in the greater Los Angeles area don't know about our homeless shelter. Wrong. They most certainly do. Bus drivers and others on the streets out in South Central and other various parts of town tell transients about our shelter, and the bus will take them right there. So that's all I could think of tonight, but I know there are more. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Do we have anybody online with a
We
comment?
have Amy Hugh. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand. Okay. Not for this item.
All right, so that is our public participation. Whoops, wait a minute. I spoke too soon. Hi, Holly.
Good evening. My name is Holly Osborne, District 5. This is totally non-scripted, so you can't have a copy of the remarks. I want to talk about history, okay? She just mentioned that the properties were bought in 1990. in the 1990s. And if you look at what Metro had considered at the time for the Green Line, they were considering actually 2-track instead of 3, because one of the options was use the current freight line and just one other track. You can use a freight line for light rail. It's not recommended, but you can do it. Now, the reason I bring it up is the row is not really as wide as you think. It's limited in Hawthorne to 75 feet, and they really don't have enough room. Maybe they would have had for 2 tracks, but they don't for 3. And one of the things I was wondering was, are there any other 3 rail plus freight rail plus 2 LR rail tracks in their repertoire? Somebody said the Gold Line, but they don't have houses on both sides. I would really like data on that. And how I got involved with this was back in 2018, I walked down the row. I've already told you that with my measuring stick, my yardstick, and I realized how narrow it was down there, and I realized their drawings, which showed tiptoe through the tulips paths on each side of the 3 tracks was all fiction. And they even admitted it later, but it caused people to believe that that's what it would look like. And I even gave a speech like that at the downtown September 2018 meeting. I said, if you bought this or thought the row was preferable because of that presentation, you were deceived, okay? And I have listened to almost all the planning and programming meetings since then, since about 2019. We're in a pandemic, can't do anything else anyway. And I realized that the lines where they have the most problem are where they do have a freight train there. Most of the time they want to remove freight train tracks. And the bottom line is they really don't have the room. Now, I'll get to some of it in detail when I get to the Blue Line thing, but they don't have the room. And you're deceived if you think that they do. All right. I am a registered professional engineer in the state of California.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you, Holly.
All right. Any other comments from anywhere? No?
There's no e-comment at this time.
All right. Next, ex parte communications. This section is intended to allow all officials the opportunity to reveal any disclosure or ex parte communication about the following public hearings. Commissioner Barron.
Thank you, Chair Gaddis. I've had ex parte communications with respect to only J1, and that was with Chair Gaddis and city staff.
Commissioner Boswell.
I have had none.
Commissioner Godek.
I have had none.
Okay. Commissioner Hazeltine.
I have had just public, general public.
Commissioner Hensley.
I visited the site, but just from the sidewalk neighborhood, not between the houses.
Oh, okay. And Commissioner Lamb.
I communicated with Senior Planner Gardia. And that was it.
Okay. And I had communications on J1 with Commissioner Barron and with the public, and on J2 communications with in L1 with staff, with the public, and with Councilwoman Lowenstein and Narenheim.
If I may, L1 is not a public hearing, so you wouldn't need to disclose the ex parte
Okay.
on that. Yep.
I take all that back. All right.
Chair,
Oh, yes.
for L1.
No,
also-
she just said,
Yes, for me.
you don't have to disclose.
I'm sorry.
J1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, L1 is not a public hearing, so
Thank you.
the ex parte is for the public hearings.
For J1.
Yes.
That's it. Okay.
Apologies.
All right. So we have public hearing, J1, public hearing for the consideration of exemption declaration and lot line adjustment to realign the rear property line between two adjacent lots located within a single-family residential zone at 713 North Prospect Avenue and 712 North Paulina Avenue. Do I have a motion to open this public hearing?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say no. Okay, this public hearing is now open. Do we have anyone to testify in this? Do we have anyone from the applicants or who want to speak at this particular one? If you don't want to speak, you don't have to be sworn in. Okay, I don't think we have any.
We do,
Yeah,
and
you
we
should-
have, yeah,
Be sworn in, yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead and stand.
And then there's also a person on Zoom, so they
On
can
Zoom,
do that as
okay.
well.
Well, on Zoom, if you could hold your hand over your heart, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You're sworn in. All right, so our staff report.
Yes, thank you, Chair Gaddis. Tonight's item, it's a kind of a routine matter. These items have been handled as consent items in the past, but we went ahead and advertised this as a public hearing, so we're bringing it to the commission as a public hearing item. This is a minor subdivision, or minor lot line adjustment, I should say. And it's between the properties at 713 North Prospect and 712 North Paulina. There we go. So I've adjusted the image here to, I know it looks askew, but it looks kind of more north to south oriented towards what the map shows. And these are the two properties. Originally, these properties were in the location of a right-of-way. It's Amethyst Street, which was vacated back in 1963 and then subsequently sold and developed. Let's see. Both properties right now are over 5,000 square feet in size, but the lot lines will be moving to the north, approximately 17 feet, that divide